everyone. So last week we went all out and did a Pultec versus plugin shootout. This week I've just went and gone even better, even more expensive. Yes, it is Fairchild versus plugins. This isn't clickbait. So how close can the plugins get to a Fairchild? Let's find out. Now, sorry to kind of burst the bubble so early, but just to let you know, it isn't a real Fairchild, but it is the closest thing to a Fairchild that I'm going to get without getting a unfairchild, alright? So this shootout is coming from Mix Analog. It isn't sponsored or anything, I just got free credits from them when you sign up. So for anybody that doesn't know, Mix Analog is a analog streaming service, very much like Analog Access, but you do not use a plugin, okay? It's a standalone thing and you use on their site. So it's really, really simple. All you do is you kind of register, you'll get 300 free credits, then you book your time slot and your gear, you upload the tracks that you want to process, and then you'll use it in real time, and then you'll bounce the files, you get the download, and that's you, and you put it in your session. It's as simple as that. Dead simple. Alright, so this is not a real Fairchild, but they do have what's called the dystopic Fairchild, which is their own creation. They have said on the website that it is made from original parts, and any parts that aren't original, they have used replacement parts that were used for replacement parts of Fairchilds back in the day. So it's as close as the real thing as you're going to get. Okay, well I would like to think so, okay? I'll trust them. In terms of plugins, we've got the Acustica Audio Ultramarine, which is my Fairchild of choice, and we've also got the UAD Fairchild as well. There is other ones I could have included, but I've already done Fairchild shootouts, okay? I'll leave a link to it somewhere, alright? So we're going to do drums, bass, and we're also going to do it on vocals as well, okay? So first off, let's look at the drums. Now, drums, very, very simple. I've just got it set about 1 to 2 dB of gain reduction. Again, there isn't many settings you can tweak on the Fairchilds. They're very, very easy to use, very, very easy. So let's get straight into drums and let's see how these two behemoths of the plugin world fare against kind of the real deal. Let's do it. Right, so let's just get straight into it. That Fairchild sounds awesome. The snare has this nice crack to it. The low end is really nice and thick and punchy, and it's got this overall thickness and kind of lovely saturated goop to it. I just think it sounds great. It sounds awesome. It's what I imagine a Fairchild to sound. In terms of the plugins, the Ultramarine, it doesn't have the character and the kind of saturation and the warmth of the original. That's just something that I find with the Acustica compressor sometimes. The transients are there. I've got a little bit more transient punch with the shmod, because if you have the shmod kind of more to, say, like 3 and 4, it changes the attack envelope so you can get more transients out of it. So I can get more transients. In terms of the UAD, it doesn't have the transients of the hardware or the Acustica Audio Ultramarine, but it has that saturation a little bit more. I feel that in terms of the harmonic content, it's got that warmth, that richness, and sounds a little bit closer from that aspect. So would an average listener be able to tell the difference? I don't know. I don't know. In terms of my ear, I can kind of hear the differences. But yeah, very, very interesting indeed. So we've done drums. Let's now go to bass guitar. Now in bass guitar, we're hitting about 3 to 5 dB of gain reduction. Okay, so let's hear how it sounds on bass. Right, now in terms of bass, again, they're a little bit more closer. I think it'd be harder to tell the differences here. The Acustica Audio Ultramarine sounds a little bit closer now because I can hit the input harder. And the drums, I couldn't hit the input hard of the Acustica Audio Ultramarine. Even though I was hitting it at -18 and gain staging it correctly, on the drums, if you hit the input too hard, you just get these horrible artifacts and it pumps and it sounds horrible. Whereas in the UAD, you can crank it, absolutely crank it. Right, okay, so we've done drums and bass. So how about we put the two of them together and actually see how the two of them come together and gel together. And again, am I going to prefer the hardware here, or the plugins kind of going to stand out? Is the transients of the drums of the Acustica Audio with the bass going to mix really well together and maybe going to sound better than the hardware? Let's find out. Right, okay, so there you go. Now, as always, this is absolutely subjective. This is just my opinion. I can pick out the hardware every time. I sat, again, you know me, I sit for ages with these shootouts, and it's just, the hardware's just got this weight and this kind of nice thickness to it. The snare, again, is just really nice and kind of 3D. Has a lot of depth. There's just this weight that I can hear that I prefer, and the plugins just can't do it. In comparison, I think both the plugins are kind of in the ballpark, but they lack the energy and they lack the depth and they lack just that vibrance and that warmth and just that weight. Just an extra bit of magic that's missing for me. So I think we can end up the two shootouts by simply saying a Fairchild is indeed magic, right? Even if you take original parts and kind of do like a hot rodded version, it's just a magic that Fairchilds just sound amazing. And as we can see, it's quite hard in the digital realm to recreate it. Now, I did say I was going to do vocals, and I am going to end the video with vocals. Unfortunately, there was an issue with the bouncing, and the vocals don't sound right. I could have still included it, but the vocals didn't sound right. It didn't sound like it was imprinting much of a character, and it just didn't sound right. And unfortunately, I wasted all my free credits as well doing the shootout, and I'm not going to pay. I'm too tight. I'm not going to pay for it. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to end the video with a vocal shootout with the Dry versus the Acustica Ultramarine and the UAD, just so you can hear a Fairchild on vocals and you can hear a plug-in shootout on vocals between the two. The Ultramarine is kind of my favourite one that I've been using, but is the UAD going to sound better, in my opinion? So guys, like and subscribe. Again, remember guys, likes help videos. Please like this video. If you're going to do anything, like this video. And if you really like this video and you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. If you go on my channel, there's loads of separate playlists. There's plugin shootouts, analog versus digital, general audio geekness, plugin reviews, headphone stuff. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff that you get your teeth into on my channel. Alright, so guys, let me know which one you prefer in the vocal shootout. As always, my name's Paulthor. This has been Mixing Wednesdays, and I'll see you again next week.
And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own. And in your grey, in this blue shade, my tears dry on their own.